Delhi is unwell, it is sick, and it's us who's made it so. We've ignored the symptoms all along of how air pollution menace has reached our doorstep and is suffocating us every day. Hello and welcome, I'm Devina Gupta, and on this show we tell you how to deal with this air apocalypse. Starting with the gadgets that can help you. In your palm is the technology which tells you what is the air quality around you. Take a look at this report by my colleague Shivan, which tells you which are the gadgets that you need to be armed with to deal with the air pollution.
Air purifiers essentially help to remove contaminants from your air, and the basic thumb rule for buying an air purifier is very simple. Get a measurement of the room where you wish to keep the air purifier and buy a device which is competent to purify a larger area than the area of your room. Now, the two basic things you must ensure that are there in the air purifier that you're buying is one, a true HEPA filter, and two, a good clean air delivery rate. Check for these two things before buying a device. Xiaomi, Philips, Panasonic, Kent, Sharp, these are all decent brands. You could opt for any one of them. Now, in case you feel that an air purifier is a bit too bulky and is probably out of your budget, you can also go for something slightly cheaper and much more portable. I'm talking about vaporizers, which you can actually use on the go. What they do is they release mist into the air, and this mist is very soft. You can add aroma to it as well, and it helps to reduce dust particles and pollutants. A vaporizer is a machine that releases a warm mist into the air, increasing humidity and making breathing easier. You may also add essential oils to the vaporizer to add a soothing aroma in your room. The vapors ensure you breathe cleaner air, and the best part is you can use it on the go. So if you're driving and you wish to breathe lesser amounts of contaminants and pollutants in the air, you can also opt for in-car purifiers to keep your car pollution free, and they come for as less as rupees 3,000. So all you need to do is plug it in to your cigarette lighter port and switch it on. Other option is an air purifying bulb, which ensures that dust settles on the floor. These are essentially ionizers which make sure the particles in the air settle down on the floor, and these are ideal for smaller areas such as bathrooms, large closets, kitchens, laundry area, and can range from rupees 700 to rupees 3,000. Now, another good practice is to always be aware of the air quality index in and around your location, whether that's your residence or your office. The thing is that the air quality index is very easily available on apps both on Android and iOS. So apps like Suffer, AQICN or Pollution Tracker will tell you exactly how much pollution there is in and around you.
It's construction sites like this one where maximum pollution is created in our cities. And how do you save yourself from the dust particles in the air? My colleague Parveena gets you this report of what kind of mask you should wear if you're experiencing a breathlessness this season.
Delhi can't breathe. The air over the capital is grey and full of toxins. And for several residents, pollution masks may be the tools that Delhi desperately needs.
Remember one place in Delhi which sees crowd and long queues outside a mask shop in Delhi. All the shops are closed. People did not step out from their home, but there's a long queue. The hot selling product today in the capital is nothing else but a mask and the air purifiers.
The sales of masks to ward off pollution are spiking.
Every day we are selling about 1,000 masks per day.
We cannot breathe. I am sick since 1 week.
But if the slew of masks on the market confuses you, a doctor can decode it for you.
You can easily read on that mask that it's N95 mask and it is NIOS approved, or it is a EN mask. EN mask is a European mask, so that you can use.
And if masks aren't your thing, you can invest in some handy ionizers and air purifiers as well. For now, Delhiites are flocking to buy the masks that might just make them breathe easier.
Well, the citizens of the national capital are trying to protect themselves with masks to battle the high level of pollution. Nobody seems to get to the ground to save the city. Be it the netas or people like you and me, how long will you masquerade with those masks? Because one cannot forget the cause of this is no one else, but we have jointly caused it. With camera person Alok, this is Parveena for India Today.
With that, we take a very short break, but stay with us. On the other side, what India can learn from Beijing and how to deal with this air apocalypse. Stay with us. I'm just going to have a fresh breath of air and come right back. At a time when India is calling out to the world saying, Padharo Mare Desh, it's also a time to look at how on World Health Organization Index, Delhi is one of the most polluted cities across the globe. Its surrounding areas as well has MNC culture booming, but expats who are living in Delhi and surrounding areas now want to pack their bags and leave with their masks.
32-year-old Auntie from the United States has been staying in the capital with her children for the past 3 years. They love to explore Delhi's famous architecture on the weekend. But for the first time, her family is choosing the option of staying indoors with her children forced to wear these masks for protection.
Very difficult, and anybody with young children will know, especially with boys, that they need to be outside playing football and games and running around, and not fair for the children.
Her 5-year-old son is a big soccer fan who hates missing sessions as schools have been ordered shut, and he is forced to breathe through his mask.
Soccer's like my favorite sport, and I'm in the team, so it's very important to play the matches, because otherwise if you don't play the matches then you won't win, because you can't play the matches to get points.
Auntie's is not the only expat family finding Delhi unlivable. From dengue risks in the recent times to now Delhi becoming the gas chamber, they are rethinking their options.
If you decide to leave over the winter, then that costs huge amounts of money to get everybody out. So it's really, financially it's difficult. So we do have a choice, we can leave. So I feel very sorry for people who don't have that choice at this time.
10-year-old Louis from the United Kingdom lives with his parents in the capital and knows how Delhi's air pollution levels have crossed up to 900 mark. He has been following strict instructions to wear the mask as soon as the air quality index crosses 300.
To anybody that can't afford the masks, then they should either stay inside with the air purifiers or go to hotels with air purifiers, and it all costs money, so some people can't afford it.
In fact, air pollution is impacting foreign tourists who choose to visit Delhi during the winters for its weather. Many are lining up at the stores to buy a mask too and are planning to cut short on their trips.
In 2014, more than 74% of expats living in Delhi agreed to make this move, but today more than 50% wants to make their way back home. Fear and worry has enveloped this community because of the toxic air in Delhi. Many say that pollution is discussed in most of these expat dinners today. The ecosystem which had developed around this community is definitely falling apart. With camera person Alok, this is Parveena in Delhi for India Today.
It is considered an economic superhouse and an industrial production hub, but China has been able to deal with the air pollution menace far more efficiently than India. And here are the lessons that New Delhi can learn from Beijing.
Before Delhi's air apocalypse, there was Beijing's. For days at a stretch during the long winter, China's capital was, not unlike Delhi today, covered in smog. But the difference is Beijing, however, is currently waging an all-out battle to conquer the air apocalypse.
Series of new emission standards being released in the beginning of this year, and there's also a lot of restriction on the coal industry. For example, there are 3 out of 4 coal-fired plants being shut down in Beijing.
Beijing has been quick to learn its lessons with a 4-pronged strategy. First, the government has commissioned a major study to determine the causes of pollution, shutting down coal plants in the city, planned phase-out of crop burning and banning heavy vehicles on the city roads, and a lottery system for new car registration.
According to our recent research, we discovered that there are a 12% of drop comparing the PM 2.5 concentration this year, first 9 months this year versus last year.
These measures are working, says Dong Liansai of Greenpeace in Beijing.
Beijing still grapples with pollution and smoggy days like today, but the Chinese government says the actual level of pollution has decreased by as much as 15% in 2016 compared to the previous year. And this was only because the Chinese government undertook a very comprehensive study into the sources of pollution and began by closing down coal-fired plants in the vicinity of Beijing and preventing heavy trucks from entering the city.
The government also sends out red alerts before the PM 2.5 pollution reaches 200, giving residents some time to prepare for the smog. Various kinds of masks are widely available in almost every Beijing store, with public health clinics even ordered to sell subsidized masks for 10 rupees, although more sophisticated masks are in the highest demand.
是这样，因为 PM2.5 现在人们都意识到PM2.5 对人的身体的伤害非常非常的大。然后现在的话，就是好多人就知道咱们这个净化器的话，对人的身体的话是有好处的。
But there is also a booming industry for air purifiers, with those from Switzerland in high demand.
然后呢，这个布鲁埃尔的话呢，又是22个国家驻华大使馆用的品牌，所以好多人就是非常信赖这个牌。
With a booming air purifier industry, face masks provided to school children, and regular red alerts sent by the government, greater awareness in China is perhaps the biggest lesson for Delhi as it figures out how to battle air pollution. Only when China's citizens pressured the government did it begin to take a whole host of measures. And it was only when China's citizens said enough is enough that China's government finally acted. Reporting for India Today in Beijing, this is Anand Krishnan.
With unplanned urbanization, green cover across our cities is shrinking. It's a rare sight to see such kind of green foliage next to a busy road junction. And that's the remedy to ensure long-term effects of air pollution are minimized. Go green this season. Air apocalypse in the capital is a disaster in the making that other Indian cities need to take a leaf from, literally. With Delhiites queuing up for air purifiers to ensure filtered air, the long-term solution is the green cover to fight the toxins. Bandra resident Sumaira Abdulali, who has been an environment activist for the past 20 years in Mumbai, has been advocating the cause of increasing the green cover. Interestingly, she has installed an air purifier at home for her children, but given an option, going green is her choice, as plants are cheaper, long-lasting, and it's a natural way of getting fresh air.
Air purifiers do clean the air and will give you some respite, but after all, we don't want our children to grow up in a world where you have to constantly live indoors because it's too unsafe to go outside and breathe only artificially purified air. So yes, air purifiers do work.
Since 2011, at least 94 Indian cities have not met national air quality standards. The World Health Organization's recent urban air quality database shows half of the world's most polluted cities in India, including Kanpur, Lucknow, Delhi and others. So it's imperative for us to ensure that our green foliage is protected and we go back to planting trees.
A lot of oxygen. All plants give oxygen in presence of sunlight. So you have good plants around you, you have good sunlight, you get plenty of oxygen.
Now, there are no super plants which can ensure that the entire air is toxic free, but there are 8 plants that we have shortlisted for you, which experts believe can help you breathe in natural fresh air. So first up on our list is aloe vera, that also promises to remove formaldehyde and benzene. It also removes various infections. You can keep it near your kitchen window. Doesn't require much maintenance. It's a sun-loving plant, easily available across the markets. The second plant that you can opt for is palms, which removes formaldehyde and benzene. Sunny locations is where it thrives, and it needs a consistent moisture. But it also looks lovely on the eyes, decorates your rooms, and helps you remove toxins from the air. Peace lilies are other plants on our list that ensures that ammonia, benzene is removed. It can be kept on dark corners, so be it your bedrooms or restrooms, you could keep these plants there, and it needs temperature below 55 Fahrenheit though. Next on our list out here is ferns, which remove toluene and xylene. These are very popular plants which are kept in homes. You can keep them in corners of your room and dark places also, but ensure that it's consistently fed water. Snake plant is another plant which you can opt for, where formaldehyde is removed from air because of snake plant. You can keep them in your bathrooms as well. That's where many of these plants are found with small jars as well, and it's steady humid conditions. It thrives and ensures that you breathe a cleaner air. Then you have a golden pothos, which removes methyl, alcohol and also xylene, and you can keep it in a garage where it thrives on low light. And English ivy, which improves air quality, removing airborne diseases, doesn't require much to maintain. You can keep them in a balcony as well. It's a sun-loving plant, so it ensures that it adds on to your home's beauty as well. And Chinese evergreen is another plant that you can opt for, which removes toxins from the air, and with sufficient light, it can also be kept in corners of your room. So these are options that you can avail instead of going in for the expensive purifiers. So with Delhi showing the way of how unchecked air pollution can lead to suffocation and health complications, here's a hope that it will inspire everyone to go green this season. Bureau Report, India Today. With that, we end the show, but I hope it's a new beginning for all of us to wake up and realize the toxic levels of pollution we're living in, and it all starts with us. With our little efforts, we can ensure that air pollution is brought under control, and our right to breathe is a right that we exercise with our duty. So thank you for joining in and being part of the show.